Do you know Goliath was not really powerful as people think? Yes, he's tall, huge, but is he really powerful? Let's take a quick tour. First, who is Goliath? Welcome to this channel. We engage with historical, biblical, and other religious scientific facts. Goliath is a famous figure in the Bible, known as the giant warrior defeated by the young David. His story is found in 1 Samuel 17 in the Old Testament. Now, let's talk about identity. Goliath was a champion soldier of the Philistines, a group that was often at war with Israel. Let's examine Goliath's height and size. The Bible gives two main traditions about Goliath's height. Most Hebrew manuscripts say 6 cubits and a span, which equals about 9 feet 9 inches, around 3 meters. Some older manuscripts, like the Dead Sea Scrolls and Septuagint, record him as 4 cubits and a span, about 6 feet 9 inches, around 2 meters. Still very tall for that time, since the average Israelite man was around 5'3", 5'6", 1.6 to 1.7 in. Either way, Goliath was seen as an unusually large, powerful warrior compared to normal men. Don't forget to subscribe and share if you enjoy this fact. Let's discuss knowledge and wisdom, biblical and logical view. Goliath's size was meant to intimidate the Israelites. In biblical times, strength and height symbolize power, but his defeat shows a spiritual lesson. No matter how big or powerful a person looks, faith in God can overcome what seems impossible. Wisdom tells us Goliath's body may have been large, but it was still fragile when struck in the right place, like his forehead. By scientific understanding, human body and physics, balance and weight, very tall people have a higher center of gravity, which makes balance harder when they fall. Bone and muscle stress. The taller and heavier someone is, the more strain is placed on their joints, bones, and muscles. That means getting up after a fall could be slower and harder for a giant-sized person than for an average-sized person. Momentum. If someone nearly 9 to 10 feet tall fell, their weight plus gravity would create a very strong impact on the ground. That shock could make it even more difficult to get back up quickly. Possible condition. Some scholars think Goliath may have had gigantism or acromegaly, conditions caused by excess growth hormone. People with this condition are often tall and strong, but can suffer from poor eyesight, slower movement, and joint problems. This might explain why David was able to defeat him more easily. Fact buster. Goliath was not truly as powerful as he appeared. His great size made him seem unstoppable, but in reality, his strength had limits. His massive body put extra weight and pressure on his knees and joints, making his movements slower and less balanced. What really made Goliath dangerous was not just his body, but the intimidation that came with it. His towering height, his booming voice, the sight of his huge weapons and heavy armor. All of these struck fear into the hearts of the Israelites before the battle even began. But the truth is, Goliath's power was more of an illusion. His appearance created fear, but he was never invincible. This is why David's courage and faith were able to cut through the intimidation and bring the giant down. Biblical record of Goliath about defeat. The Bible only records one battle involving Goliath, the fight with David in 1 Samuel 17. There is no record in Scripture that Goliath ever won victories before this. He is introduced as the Philistine champion who challenged Israel. The Bible doesn't give details of his past battles, only that he was a seasoned warrior trusted by the Philistines to represent them. Historical and archaeological evidence about Goliath. Outside the Bible, there are no surviving historical records that specifically describe Goliath's victories. However, archaeology has uncovered evidence of the Philistines' military strength, especially in cities like Gath, where Goliath came from. Excavations at Tel Safi, ancient Gath, found a shard with inscriptions similar to the name Goliath dated to around the 10th century BC, which supports that names like Goliath existed in that region at that time. Ancient cultures often had champions or giant warriors who fought in single combat, like in Greek, Egyptian, and Mesopotamian traditions. Goliath fits into this cultural pattern, but no specific record of his victories has been discovered. Based on history and archaeology, There is no record of Goliath winning any battles apart from the biblical description of him as a feared champion. His reputation for strength was likely built from being the largest and most intimidating soldier among the Philistines. But his only known battle, according to the Bible, ended in defeat against David. If you love this fact, subscribe, share, and comment.